Perfect? Bang on my chest if you think I'm perfect. Go ahead, bang on it.
No heart?
You gotta have heart. Miles and miles of heart.
This is Patchwork Heart Ministries' Young Catholics Respond, brought to you by Breadbox Media. Now, here's your host, Bill Snyder.
Thanks, Adam, and welcome to the program, everybody. I am Bill Snyder, and it is a pleasure to have you with us no matter how you're listening, whether you're listening in Wisconsin or West Virginia. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember that you can reach out to us at patchworkheart.org. That's our website, our email, info@patchworkheart.org. And then you can also find us on Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, and a bunch of other social media websites and whatnot. So please reach out to us at Patchwork Heart Ministry. All you have to do is Google it. Today on Young Catholics Respond, I am so blessed to be talking with Theresa Schmitz. She is a wife and mother of 6 children on earth and 1 in heaven. She currently serves as the president and CEO for the Apostolate for Family Consecration. And as the 11th child of the AFC founders, the late Jerry and servant of God, Gwen Conacher, Theresa has been part of this incredible mission from the very beginning. Theresa, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining me today on Young Catholics Respond and talking about your apostolate. It is truly an amazing mission that you have.
Yes. Hi, Bill. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, especially to be able to talk with and be with the young people, the future of our church. So thank you for this.
Absolutely. I want to ask you about the Apostolate for Family Consecration and how it got started. You were obviously a part of the family, the first family that started it. So tell us a little bit about how it got started.
Okay. Sure. Yes, I'd be happy to. My parents have 12 children. I'm the 11th of their 12. And in the 60s and early 70s, they became very concerned with what they saw happening in society, where basically the morals were being sucked out, and they became very concerned that they were not going to be able to successfully pass on the faith to their children. And that was one thing that as a young couple, they got married when they were 18 and 19 years old, that they felt very drawn and committed to raise a family for God and wanted to pass on the faith to them. So becoming very concerned and not finding much support around them. And at that time, the truths of the faith, the teachings of the faith were being compromised. And so they became very concerned. So my father was a very driven man, with tenacity and vision and commitment, and really a man of God. And he took it upon himself to want to forge a ministry, an apostolate that would support parents and passing on the faith to their children, but also bringing families together to, in a sense, just to gain support from one another on the journey. And so he felt that the truths of the faith, coming together with other like-minded parents that want to pass on the faith, and creating an environment for families to truly live God-centered family living was really what drove him. And he started the Apostolate for Family Consecration in 1975. And I was born that year, so I grew up in it. And it really has evolved into, it's a beautiful ministry for families. And we have a campus in Bloomingdale, Ohio, called Catholic Family Land, where we hold events and retreats, and it's open all year round to the public for a place of prayer, vacation, pilgrimage, healing, just so much. The family, as we know, is so in need of time with God, time with each other, in particular for young people to be able to have that space to get to encounter the living God and the love. And when young people do that, when they experience that, it's truly life-changing. And that was really my experience of just being exposed to the faith and to the love of God through the Apostolate for Family Consecration.
You know, that's so beautiful. And it's awesome that, you know, you grew up in that environment, and that your dad was so passionate and so such a man of God. I want to ask you a little bit about what consecration is, and, you know, we hear the word consecrated priests and religious, but this is a different type of consecration. And for young people out there who maybe don't quite understand what consecration is, it centers around the Blessed Mother, correct? Or at least in your
right.
In your apostolate, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So my parents, as a young couple, were introduced to this total consecration to Jesus through Mary, according to St. Louis de Montfort's teachings, which was something that St. John Paul II adopted. So my parents, going through very difficult times in the early 70s, they felt that they really had to really cling and turn to a much more powerful spiritual force than just trying to get by day. And so they entered into learning and studying about this consecration, which really is quite simply just being very intentional of living out your baptismal consecration and the power that comes through all of our baptisms. So St. Louis de Montfort brings one through a very intense preparation to really understand what it truly is to live all for Jesus and through his most blessed mother, because God, our Father, chose to send his Son through the Blessed Mother. So there, and with Saint Joseph as the protector of the Holy Family. So just knowing that was very intentional on our God, our Father's part to decide to want to become man and come through a woman, Mary. And so we learn to grow. We closer to Jesus. She leads us to him. So that's what this consecration is. And so my parents, it was really life-changing for them when they made this consecration. They really meant all of it. And the beautiful thing of it is when we offer just our desire and we unite our will with our desire to say, Lord, yes, I want to be set apart for you in this world. I want all that I am and have to be what you want. And we know that the abundant life is in that, and the fullness of life comes from that. So my parents actually moved to Fatima, Portugal after they made their consecration. And they lived there for 2 years with 8 of their children at the time, and then moved back to America with a conviction that they were meant to help share the power and the message of consecration for the families of America in particular. And what they came to tap into is that the act of consecration is not a one-time act. It's not a devotion. It's a way of life. And that's where the spirituality was developed of family consecration. And it's really just being very intentional of living each day in the present moment and being in tune with our Lord, with our Blessed Mother and St. Joseph, and the fact that the Holy Family is here for families as a model, guide, and protector.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful to realize, as you just said, that total consecration isn't just a one-time rite or a one-time process that you go through. It's a continual way of living, and then it's also passing it on to the generations that follow, and mm-hmm. And other families, and getting them involved and getting them to understand this. And one of the things that kind of sticks out to me, especially from your timeline, and as you mentioned, your parents did move to Fatima, but one of the things that's incredible too is that they recognized that the battle against sin was not something that was going to be a political or a societal thing. It was a spiritual problem. I mean, can you just touch on that too? Because I know that a lot of young people out there today believe that sin is a political or a societal thing. It's not a personal and spiritual battle.
Right. Yes. When my father realized that, because he hit it head on politically, he was trying to fight the things that were trying to that were being put into the school systems back in the late 60s, and he very politically, he was very savvy, and he was able to get all the petitions and get everything going that would block these things that he saw coming in as really sort of a conspiracy to remove God from the school. And so he was so convinced that was the agenda and that was what was happening. So he had it head on politically and got all the petitions and everything signed. And he was pretty certain that it was all, that it was they were going to be protected. Well, when the board of that district voted against it, despite all of the petitions of the people, at that moment he realized we are not fighting a political battle. There is a spiritual battle going on, and it is the deepest battle of good versus evil, and really Satan trying to take over this world and remove God from it. And so when he realized that it was spiritual, he realized and he needed to turn to much more spiritual forces and powers and protection to be able to combat the evil of this world. And really many of the things that are happening in our society today and within the family and the attack on the family is something that my father did more or less prophesied years ago. We're living what he said would come if not enough people turn back to God and we're living for God. So at the same time, there's a lot of hope, because I know just from growing up in this ministry and seeing now so many more people are being intentional and are looking for God and striving to live God-centered lives and learning more about what that is. And even consecration is much more well known than it was back in the 70s when the Apostolate for Family Consecration was founded. And that was really what the heart of it was. If enough people would commit themselves to living consecrated lives, basically set apart for God to use us, to be in us and to work through us on this earth, that it could turn of the world and it could usher in, bring about the triumph of the Immaculate Heart, which was something promised at Fatima.
So beautiful. For our listeners, you're listening to the voice of Theresa Schmitz. She is the president and CEO of the Apostolate for Family Consecration. And as we're nearing the end of our first half, I just want to remind listeners that her website is afc.org, and you can go and check out this amazing website and really become a part of it. If she's kind of nudged you listening to this episode to go and find out more about it for your family, and especially young Catholics out here listening to this, growing up, trying to raise kids in a wholesome, virtuous environment, a Catholic environment, this website and her mission truly is a beautiful one. I want to take that short break here, Theresa. When we come back, we're going to talk with you about what you're doing now and, Catholic Family Land and all these amazing things that you're currently doing to help Catholic families live a life of virtue. So right back after this on Young Catholics Respond. I'm Bill Snyder.
Our Blessed Mother wants only the best for her children and has given us a special place where she promises to help all those who appeal to her motherly love and protection. Telling Saint Juan Diego that here I will alleviate the sufferings of all those who love me and seek my protection. That holy place is now the site of the beautiful Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico City. If you would like to learn more about how you can visit this special place of grace, please visit vivaguadalupe.org for more information. Our Lady may be calling you now.
Patchwork Heart Ministry is committed to sowing hope into broken hearts by helping young people encounter the love of Jesus Christ and His Catholic Church through prayer, storytelling, and media initiatives. We invite you to prayerfully consider supporting this mission financially. Mail your tax-deductible donation to Patchwork Heart Ministry at P.O. Box 563, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, zip code 53147. Or visit patchworkheart.org to donate online. That's Patchwork Heart Ministry, P.O. Box 563, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin 53147, or online at patchworkheart.org.
Hi everybody, Bill Snyder here. Just want to thank you for listening to this episode of Young Catholics Respond. And as a founder of Patchwork Heart Ministry, we have so much more going on than just our podcasts. Check it out at patchworkheart.org.
Faith comes from what is heard, and what is heard comes by the preaching of Christ. But, I ask, have they not heard?
Do you seek to make Scripture a greater part of your daily faith journey? Would you like it readily available on your smartphone or tablet? The Truth and Life Bible app delivers to your mobile device the complete Catholic edition of the Revised Standard Version of the Bible with a concordance entirely free. You will also enjoy free content from Father Robert Barron's Word on Fire, Father Jim McElhone's Word Made Clear, Jeff Caven's The Great Bible Adventure, and the Catholic News Agency. In addition, you can hear the Gospel of Mark dramatically proclaimed by world-renowned actors and actresses like Blair Underwood, Neil McDonough, Kristen Bell, and many more. The full audio dramatization of the New Testament, along with the Ignatius Study Bible, can be purchased within the app. It is available on the App Store, Google Play, Amazon Kindle, and at downloadjesus.com.
Judy Hare was a bankrupt, homeless, drug-addicted college dropout on the brink of divorce, but is now a seminary graduate and devoted wife and mother of 4 children. What happened? Find out in her autobiography, Shattered: How God Restored My Heart and Life. Her journey of faith has been called brutally honest, truly inspiring, profound, heartbreaking, and life-changing. Shattered is available now for only $15 on her website, judyhare.com, on Amazon.com, or at your local Catholic bookstore. As Judy says, it is never too late to become the person you deserve and desire to be. So stop wishing for change and start doing something about it by reserving your copy of Shattered today.
Do you want to keep your finger on the pulse of Patchwork Heart Ministry? Follow our monthly blog, Written on Our Hearts. Simply go to patchworkheartministry.blogspot.com and click subscribe, and follow the on-screen instructions. That's patchworkheartministry.blogspot.com, then click subscribe.
Your heart is always beating, but you never have to think about it.
Welcome back to Young Catholics Respond. Once again, Bill Snyder.
Welcome back to this episode of Young Catholics Respond, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I want to remind you that you can visit our Patreon account by searching Patchwork Heart Ministry. You have to search Patchwork Heart Ministry all the way out. If you just search Patchwork Heart, it's not the account that is lined up with us, but we try and release each and every week the person who is going to be on our podcast ahead of time, so you get to know who that is. You can check out their website and their information prior to the public release of the podcast on Thursdays. And you can definitely connect with our ministry there, and it's only a small patron donation. It's $1 a month. If you just commit $1 a month to supporting our ministry and helping it grow, then you can have access to that information and all the other exclusive news that comes along with it as our ministry is growing here by leaps and bounds. So today on this podcast and radio show, I have Theresa Schmitz with me. She is the president and CEO of the Apostolate for Family Consecration. And in the first half of the program, we talked all about how the apostolate got started and the dedication and true faith that her dad had to start this apostolate with their family. But now you've taken over, Theresa, and you've continued to help this ministry grow. And I want to talk with you a little bit about what you're doing now to help families. I mean, it's such a noble, incredible organization. So what are the things that you're doing right now? What are some of the events? What are some of the resources that you have for families to help them grow in their Catholic faith and remain Catholic?
Okay, yes. Thank you, Bill, for this opportunity to be able to share this gift that we have been given in this ministry. And, I think I would start with the time that we encourage families, young people to take to step out of the world and to really be able to come into an encounter with God. And so what we do is main part of our ministry is our event ministry. It's at Catholic Family Land, and we it's a place set apart. It's a beautiful place in the countryside. Grace abounds there. It was a former seminary of the diocese many years ago. It's a consecrated place set apart for God. And we believe, and my parents believe this, that if we could step outside of the world where it's hard to feel and hear and experience God, and come to a place where he gets that opportunity with us. God gets that opportunity for us to hear him and to be with him and to feel his love and his grace. I mean, that is, we're just called to union with him, and so we're truly not at peace until we reach that. So this place, our events, provide an environment for that, and we have seen over the years, it's 44 years of ministry, that really is transformative for people. So it's a beautiful experience. It's balanced. It's in the world, not of the world. It's we have sort of a family vacation retreat environment for families where God is at the center of that, but they are also enjoying one another because God does call us to the joys of life as well, to embrace those and to live those. So being together as a family in a vacation setting is profoundly impactful on the family, the parents, the young people, the teenagers, the young adults, and really getting to grow in God-centered friendships. So families get to meet people from all across the country, and we see that these friendships carry on for many years, and they find real strength and support from those friendships, which is really what God wants and intends for us to have in true, authentic friendship. It's those friendships that keep us going, that lead us on our journey, and accompany us on our journey to heaven. So our events are all about that, just creating that space for God to do his thing. There's not a lot of strategy that goes into the event other than creating the environment. It's a lot of work, logistics and all of that, but it's a peaceful, loving, joyful, fun, healing place to come. And so that's really a primary thing that we have going. Once families are there, or young people, because we do have different types of events, then we like to be able to share with them what's available to them to be able to continue to sustain their living relationship with God, and so there's various spiritual resources that are available, faith formation, whether it's produced by the Apostolate for Family Consecration or other apostolates. Our goal is to try to inform all those who come of what the church has available to them. So we're all about just getting as many people to heaven as possible, and taking the time with them to be able to do that.
Yeah, and this property that you have, which is just about 20 minutes outside of the Franciscan University of Steubenville, the picture on the website, folks, just looks so beautiful, and it's truly just a gorgeous piece of land. And so when you're when you're welcoming people into this encounter, and it's not necessarily this, or at least I'm not getting this vibe anyway, that there's not this high pressure, like, okay, I'm going to be away on this super spiritual retreat. This is time for the family to come together and to live it. To live as church, right? To live as church.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very laid back, and it's a very natural encounter with the supernatural in there. And I grew up in attending many of the events as a young teenager and a young adult, and I know for me, that was very instrumental in helping me in my faith journey, helping my faith come alive, helping me make certain decisions that I knew would impact my future in my life, with, discerning vocation and spouse, and now raising a family. And I'm very grateful for the environment and the friendships. And it was a lot of fun. So as a teenager and as a college student and just out of college, I had a lot of fun. There's something there for everybody, the sports, the recreation, the swimming, but really, people that come there say this must be what heaven is like. They feel like this is a little taste of heaven on earth, where everything is just in right order. You're nothing in the environment is offensive to God. Nothing. It's just everybody is free to be okay with who they are, and God meets them where they are. And it's a fun, healing, spiritual experience.
Yeah, I think one of the things you mentioned there is so important, that people are free to be who they are, which is God's child, and then God meets them where they are. And I think that's that's a beautiful thing. And there's something there for everybody, as you mentioned. Through the sports and the recreation and all the different events. I think that's so important because I think a lot of young people are afraid to encounter God because they think that that there's this they have to give up all of the all of their personality, and that's not true. He wants to super empower that personality, and you're creating an environment where that personality gets super empowered by who you are in this environment that is positive, that is encouraging, that is holy and sacred, and so that's incredible, and just a wonderful mission. I want to ask you though, just a little bit about how people can get involved as we're coming down to the end of the interview. These things go by so fast.
Yeah.
But tell us how people can get involved in your apostolate and the different events you have.
Sure. Okay. Yes. Well, I definitely invite anyone who's listening and interested just to come to our website, which is afc.org. That's short for Apostolate Family Consecration.org. And on that website, you can see the different events that we put on, and the online portal that we have are just different resources. Many of them we're offering for free. There's catechetical materials on there, different formation, hearing from legends of the church, Servant of God, Father Hardin, and Cardinal Renzi and Cardinal O'Connor, just many, St. Mother Teresa. Just there's so much beauty of truth captured that is accessible on our website for free. But really, Catholic Family Land is a place set apart for anybody to come anytime. It's a beautiful place of pilgrimage, a beautiful place of healing, beautiful place of retreat, of vacation. We do have structured events, but we are also just available all year round, and we welcome all to be able to come and just experience God, experience the grace of Catholic Family Land. And it's open to everybody, and in particular families and young people. We really want to just be a part of encouraging you all on your journey to heaven.
Awesome. Again, for people visiting, the website is afc.org, and check it out. You got so much there. Theresa, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thank you for all you're doing, and to all the families and young people out there, stay strong, stay close to God.
Yes, amen. Well, this has been an episode of Young Catholics Respond. Until next time, from all of us here at Patchwork Heart Ministry, I'm Bill Snyder. Keep beating to your Catholic heart.
You've been listening to Young Catholics Respond, a radio initiative of Patchwork Heart Ministry. To learn more about our ministry and program, visit us at patchworkheart.org. Or to get exclusive access and early ministry updates, become our patron on Patreon by searching for Patchwork Heart Ministry.